Okay, I'm gonna make a video real quick. About this tractor. I've made lots of videos. This will not be a mechanicking video. I've got some things I need to make decisions on. As you can see, I have the pump in. This valve. This is what Deere sells for this. But this doesn't fit in here. This is just supposed to add fluid to the front of into the transmission. But as you can see, that one up there does it. So I'm probably what I'm going to do is just cut this and bend it where it actually will fit through there, and kind of go from there. So I came over here to get my book because I'm now ready to put the tractor back together the way it sits now, except for one thing. This thing has a bad planetary for second and fourth in it. I talked to Chris quite extensively on it, and we came to the conclusion it has a bad planetary in second and fourth. For that set, it doesn't matter if it's in forward or reverse or what range it is. It does not matter. The tractor vibrates violently. This entire tractor shakes in second and fourth. First and third doesn't have a problem at all. It's just second and fourth. So we came to the conclusion it's a bad planetary, and I was looking in a parts magazine, and the planetary unit is supposedly $2,100. I do not know where the planetary lives in this, because from what I would see is we would block it up here, and this would be the clutch, if I'm not mistaken, and then probably the planetary is here. So I don't know whether, I haven't looked in the book, but I'm assuming we would split it right here, roll the ass away, and then we could replace it, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So this is Chris or Diesel Fume one, either one of you guys. You guys know these tractors really well. If you have any comments, please make them, because that's where I'm at. I am contemplating, because I'm going to get a wiring harness for the tractor, and I'm contemplating actually fixing that. But I will go further in depth on that in just a little bit. I just came over to get my book, and we will start discussing numbers. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the planetary on the tractor. So from what I gather, I would split the tractor between the transmission and the clutch housing. And I have to go through this a little bit more. And then what I would have to do is I'd have to take those bolts out and pull this out, pull that out, and so that would leave this, and then I gotta drive a pin out and make some little tool to pull this shaft out, and then I can get the planetary out. And I would just put the planetary back in. I would just buy a new planetary and put it back in, or a rebuilt one, and send it off. Oh, Jesus. So what we're going to talk about is this right here. Is it worth splitting the tractor. Alright, I bought this 4630 for $10,000. I had to replace the front hydraulic pump. I replaced the seal and then had to just replace the pump. $2,500. The steering valve, that was $1,300. The orbit motor was $1,500. I had to replace the front pump again because John Deere, but I sent it to a John Deere dealer, and this is by the time that we found out that the back pump, the transmission oil pump, was no good. But they wouldn't listen, and they said that the front pump was bad. And what happened is a bunch of steel went to the front pump, and I didn't have any money at the time, and they shoved it in and broke it off. And I had to pay them $5,000 to replace the front pump. So they fucked me on that one. And I got $3,000 worth of brand new tires. I bought $1,400 worth of parts to replace the trans pump. I've got $14,700 worth of parts into this tractor already. That does not include the countless gallons of hydraulic fluid I've put into it. So, this is what I'm looking at to get it somewhat fixed where it's fixed. A planetary, it's $2,100. Wiring, I'm just guessing $500. And I threw $750 worth of freight and forgotten stuff in there because I'm probably going to break some stuff. So that's another $3,100. So, you know, it's a $10,000 tractor. I put more into parts in it already than I already paid for the tractor. And it's probably going to take more money. So it's going to take, to get this tractor probably back to operating, $28,050. Yeah, I'm not entirely ecstatic about that. You guys are going to have to sit here. So here's kind of what I'm looking at. If I fix the tractor completely, you know, that's what it's going to cost. I can grind hay, and I can, if I buy like a hay processor, I can just leave it on there for just, you know, putting hay down feed bumps, but I really don't need to do that. You know, this is the decision, the tough part of it. That tractor's not worth that at all. I don't really care who you are. This is why I have people tell me all the time on YouTube. They're like, "Will, you know, you need to fix this tractor and go hook it up to the disc." No. If you're farming 30 acres, you can get by with a 40-year-old tractor. If the tractor has one job, you can probably get by with it. If it's going to do nothing but pull a feed wagon, or it's going to run a hay processor or a hay grinder, you might be able to get away with it. But you cannot go buy a $10,000 tractor and put money into it, because it's still, even if I do fix it up, that tractor is only worth like 12 grand. It's got 8,400 hours on it. It will only ever be worth $12,000. I'm double what it's worth already. So, you know, that's the tough part about it. I know a lot of people like older tractors, but here's the thing. It's 40 years old and it's just getting older every day. You can go buy, you know, a 10 series tractor or something in there for 40,000. You're gonna be way better off already. And don't buy old shit. I mean, that's classic. Don't buy it. And you know, the other thing about it is, once I get it together, the tractor hasn't run for a year. And say I put it on the hay grinder, or it's doing jobs around here, who's to say something else isn't going to break in it? You know, really, who's to say something else isn't going to happen? So is it worth me putting this much money into it and then it just sit here for something else to happen? Because really what I'm thinking is, if I do completely fix the tractor, as far as I know, completely fix it, it's going to grind hay. If I ever buy a bale processor, it would run a bale processor, or that little feed wagon that I have, and that's it. And if I ever get a bunk sweep, that's what I would use it for. So you know, my other thought is selling the tractor, and I'm gonna, what I would do is I would sell that tractor and move the 7800 that has a loader to the feed yard, and it'd be the dedicated feed yard, ranch, farm here tractor, and replacing and just buying a new tractor, or not a new tractor, but I would kind of look at like a 78, another 78, 10 or 20 or 30 or you know, somewhere in there, or a case tractor of that size, somewhere around 180 horsepower, and it would go on the big square baler, or I can pull the disc with it, or the grain drill. That's my plan behind that. But you're looking at $40,000 to $80,000 to replace that. So I've already spent this. I've already spent that much. What I'm contemplating is going ahead and spending that, because it may take me a year to sell it or something, and what I may do is I may just spend this and fix this big pile of shit that is this tractor, and that way I have a tractor that's sitting here, and I don't feel so pressured to replace it, because this may not be a good year for custom hay. It may be a great year for custom hay. Next year may be a bad year, and getting a little bit more paid off on my other equipment, and that way I can afford to upgrade a tractor, or selling this tractor and then just paying on something in the feed yard, using that money somewhere here. I think if I put this much more damn money into it and the tractor actually seems somewhat reliable, it's probably worth it just to have it here as a backup until I can afford to buy another tractor. And at that point, if I can afford to buy another tractor, then I'll sell that pile of shit, because I don't want to own this thing if it's going to break down again and just continually put that much more money into it. Because I would rather go buy a tractor that's 20 years newer, that has mechanical front wheel assist on it, that has a nicer cab, that's in better condition, or even newer than that, something that's, and if something breaks on it, well, yeah, I would a lot rather spend money on something that's newer, because in 5 years down the road, then this thing's 45 years old, and I don't see that tractor is worth it. But I'm actually gonna talk to one of my business partner for my feed yard and see what they think about it, and kind of go from there, because I just don't see The only benefit to it, if this tractor was not this far taken apart, I would not spend the money and replace it. I wouldn't do that at all. The other thing that I can do, and I talked to a guy about this, is I can, because it's second and fourth that I'm having the trouble with. So if I just never put that tractor in second and fourth, I wouldn't be running, we think that it wouldn't be running hydraulic fluid through there and continually causing, the tractor wouldn't just continually be eating up itself, that planetary wouldn't be continually eating up those two gears, and it would stop dumping metal through the hydraulic system. That's what we think. So if I left it in first and third, then I should be able to use it for a grinding tractor without it just being a ticking time bomb. I'm not sure. But the other reason, I have some people who bitch about how much I talk about money. Well, the reality of it is, if you're going to farm, you've got to be conscious about the amount of money that you're spending. I'm sorry that I don't do 5-minute videos where I tell you how goddamn great I am and how spectacular everything I do is. I spend a lot of money a year, and everything I spend is borrowed money. So I'm responsible for it. And this is what agriculture is. These are the decisions you have to make. I've already spent too much money on this tractor. I should have never bought this tractor. I should have gone and bought a newer tractor and been further off than I am. But I was trying to be cheap, and this is where it got me. So this is the consequences I have for my actions. You know, and that's what you're going to have to deal with. If you're going to get into agriculture, every decision you make, you're going to deal with it for years. And I'm still dealing with it. That's why I have a new round baler coming. I have a new swather it's 200 hours on the machine. It's a brand new machine. You know, I've got an almost brand new square baler. I mean, that's why, and that can bite me in the ass too, because of the payments. But if I can cut my breakdowns, you know, quite a bit, where I'm not dumping such extreme amounts of money into it, I should be able to make the payments plus some. So, yes, if you guys, you know, it's something for you to think about. If you're young and you're looking at getting into it, this is what old shit cost. This is what 40-year-old tractors cost. Now, there are some that are real good ones, and then there's a lot of them like this. So, for you older guys who have dealt with this or have experience with this tractor, like Chris and Diesel Fume, I would like your opinion. You know, think about it, because I will listen to whatever anyone has to say, but I'm not going to do the 5-minute videos where I tell you how positive everything is, because not everything's positive all the time. And if you think it is, you're on the wrong damn channel. Go back to you know whose channel, or some of the homesteader channels where everything's great. And because honestly, I would like to pretend that everything's awesome too. But so yeah, those are the numbers on it. I'm looking at spending another $4,000 on a tractor that's worth $12,000, and we'll kind of go from there. So I would really like your input, good or bad, and thanks for watching.